You said to sanctify ourselves just like you are. You are the Holy One of Yisrael, my God. Visiting all iniquity. You show a little mercy, that sympathy. You said Abraham will be like the stars. You said to sanctify ourselves just like you are. You are the Holy One of Yisrael, my God. Visiting all iniquities. You show a little mercy, that sympathy. You said Abraham will be like the stars.
Black nationalists, and the fear God as a whole is at risk. Yeah, but with the flick of the wrist, we about to bring back apples and pigs with black fists. My father raised me better, man. Yeah, and my mama was his other hand. Growing up in the two-parent home where their thoughts was your own was a glitch in the system's plan. Everything is gay now. Yeah, kinda hip-hop parade now. Handed over our history of oppression and same-sex obsession. Now gay is the new black child. Born in the struggle and garnered Taurus and muscle and stories of those before us. The only thing left to clutch to I'm making amends, embarrassing scars of the hustle. We breaking them chains and mental strange games for the humble.
You said to sanctify ourselves just like you are. You are the Holy One of Yisrael, my God. Visiting all iniquity. You show a little mercy, that sympathy. You said Abraham will be like the stars. You said to sanctify ourselves just like you are. You are the Holy One of Yisrael, my God. Visiting all iniquities. You show a little mercy, that sympathy. You said Abraham will be like the stars. My King, I call on you. Have mercy on me for the things I do. Know you can read my heart and see I mean well. Just gotta curb all the bad things about myself. Ain't no room for enough. Meditating in your laws help me remember how to find my way to great success. Ain't no way smooth sailing, gotta pass those tests. Don't let's look to Father Abraham, we can't be no less. Happy all those that feel your whole won't be no stress. It's time to separate, we gotta move away. You said the sanctify ourselves like you are. You are the Holy One of Yisrael, my God. Visiting all iniquity. You show a little mercy, that sympathy. You said Abraham will be like the stars. You said to sanctify ourselves just like you are. You are the Holy One of Yisrael, my God. Visiting all iniquities. You show a little mercy, that sympathy. You said Abraham will be like the stars.
Shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings from Shma Yisrael. I'm Chief HezekiYAH. This is the Power of Prayer series. Welcome, family, and let us rise up and face the east and give praise to the Most High Yah. Hallelujah. Todah Yahovah for all of our lives, for having mercy upon us. May you continue to let your mercy be before all of us, O great King. We ask you to please give us strength and help in the time of trouble. We ask you to hear all of our cries and our prayers. Help us in our dilemmas. Help us in our tragedies. Help us in our downfall, O great and holy King. We praise you and thank you for your goodness and for your mercy and for the life that you have given us. Blessed be your name, O great King, for being so kind unto your people. and showing great mercy unto us. May you bless the spiritual leader of Shema Yisrael, Hanasi, Chief Principal. May you guide him, protect him, and give him health. Bless his son, Nasi Nathanael, with peace, with wisdom, and guidance. May you bless all of his sons, the princes, with their Ishas, their children. Give them strength and guide them. May you, O holy and mighty Creator, bless the whole house of Yisrael, wherever they may be, and all those that cling unto you, to serve you and to praise you and to give thanks unto you and to declare you their King. We cannot thank you enough, and we will not cease from praying unto you until you gather us back home into our land so that we may live in peace. For in this land we are oppressed, O great King. We are stressed. We are constantly denied a living in righteousness and in truth and in peace by the peoples of the land, by the governors, by all those that have control over us. Please fight in our behalf, O great King, to get us out of this land and to bring us into a land of our own, that we may serve you, fear you, and have our own government, and that our King will praise you as the Almighty, and all the people will do the same. Blessed be your name forever, Almighty Yah. Hallelujah. Praise be Yehovah. Welcome, family, to another segment of the Power of Prayer series. Today we will be going into Psalms 76. Excuse me. This psalm is another song created by Asaph. And this psalm is composed on who can stand before the Most High. So let us dive right into this psalm. Psalm 76, to the chief musician on Neginot, a psalm or song of Asaph. In Judah is Yah known. His name is great in Yisrael. In Salem also is his tabernacle and his dwelling place in Zion. So it starts off by telling us that in the tribe of Yehudah, the Creator is known. And why is that? Because the tribe of Yehudah, which is Judah in English, is the tribe where the kings come out of. And they are the lead of the nation. And they're the ones that step up to counsel and guide the people. So when the tribe of Judah is in his right frame of mind and keeping the laws of the Creator, immediately the Most High is known through their actions, through the way they live. And the Most High didn't left out the rest of the tribes because it says his name is great in Yisrael. And when we all are together, the Most High's name becomes great because people look at us and see the difference of the tribes and how we stand before the Most High in our rightness. When we read in the book of Numbers, and you had the king of Moab calling on Balaam, the son of Peor, to come and curse Israel. And in his attempts, the Spirit of Yah would move Balaam. And at one point, Balaam said, "How good are thy tents, O Jacob, and your tabernacles, O Yisrael." Because how goodly and pleasant it is when you look at the people in their right frame of mind, that you can see the beauty on how they act. And he also said, "Oh, let me die the death of the righteous, and let my last end be like his." And who was his that Balaam was talking about? The nation of Israel. Because he was prophesying and he was seeing the visions of the last days of Israel, how they would be. And it was in a pleasant position. So that's why it says in Yehuda, the Creator is known and his name is great in Yisrael. And in Salem, which also is another word for peace, it's part of the name of Jerusalem. So it says in Salem also is his tabernacle, the place of worship, and his dwelling place in Zion, in Mount Zion, because where the tabernacle was placed in that city, it was elevated so that from afar you can see where the temple was at. This is what you notice about the nation of Israel when you came into their town. There break he the arrows of the bow, the shield, the sword, and the battle, Selah. Because there no one can come without his sanctioning it. He'll break arrows, the bow that goes with the arrows, the shields and the sword. And also anyone that comes to battle against his people, they're broken. They will not be able to defeat the Israelites in their right frame of mind, in their spiritual uprightness. And that's what this psalm is saying. That when we are in our spiritual uprightness, we are very powerful. Because through us, people know who the Creator is. Because we talk about it, we boast about him. So you are more glorious and excellent than the mountains of prey. Because the mountains where you feed off is life-saving. So the Most High is most glorious and excellent than anything in earth. It says the stout-hearted are spoiled. All those that are strong-hearted, the Most High will bring them down. They have slept their sleep, and none of the men of might have found their hands. They sleep, but then they cannot overcome the power of the Most High. The Most High will make them blind. The Most High will make them feeble. The Most High will make them weak, so that none of them that are strong can even find their hands to do anything. It said, "At thy rebuke, O Elohim of Yaakov, O Creator of Jacob, at his words, both the chariot and horse are cast into the deep sleep." The chariot and horse is not effective at the words of the Most High. So when he rebukes, it's like he's telling that nation off. He's putting them down. So that none of the weapons of war are useful. You, even you, are to be feared And who may stand in your sight once you are angry? When the Most High is angry, nothing can stand before him. Unless you immediately humble yourselves and cry out to him in mercy and speak wisdom, that he might spare us in his anger. But nothing can stand before him. So basically, as this psalm is stating, as I said earlier, who can stand before the Most High? No one can beat him. No one can overpower him. So that's why we as a people have power when we are in our spiritual righteousness and uprightness with the Creator. We have power with the Creator, that no one can come against us and win. We're in Psalm 76, verse 8. It said, you didst cause judgment to be heard from heavens. Everybody knows that what is done in the earth, whatever drama, whatever disaster, whatever elements go awry in the living of people, is the judgment of the Creator. That's why I say he did cause judgment to be heard from heavens. That everyone is talking about the judgments of Yah, even if they don't realize who the Creator is. But when they talk about what floods and what tornadoes and what happened, those are his judgments. It's heard all the way from here, all over the earth, all the way up to heavens. He said the earth feared and was still. Even the earth fears the Most High. It doesn't go against the word of the Most High. That's why it said it fears. And that's how we have to be. And that is why it always says we shall fear the Most High. Because we have a concept of fears, meaning being scared of something. And then we think, oh, why should we be scared of the Most High? We should love. No, you have to fear in the concept of not going against the Most High, not going against his word, because what can happen? It said, when Yah arose to judgment to save all the meek of the earth. See, when Yah arises to judgment, it's to save those that are right, those that are humble in the earth. So, Solomon told us meek and humble is the way. So that when we're meek, that means we have patience. That means we have tolerance. That means we have to put up with things. We can't get angry quick. We can't show that kind of attitude. That is not tolerated by the Most High. Surely the wrath of man shall praise thee. The remainder of wrath shalt thou restrain. Because the praise, the anger of man praises Yah, because it's Yah's judgment, whatever man does in the earth. It's meaning that even the most angry people will praise the Most High. And when he's furious, because ain't nobody's anger can overcome the Most High. So when it says in the King James Version, it says, surely the wrath of man shall praise thee. The most angry person still will praise the Most High. And the Most High can restrain any anger. He can withstand. He can overcome. Because nobody's beating him. Nobody can come before him unless he approves or allows it. Say, vow and pay unto Jehovah your Creator, and let all that are round about him bring presents unto him that ought to be feared. Because we're all supposed to dedicate something in the name of the Most High. And in this day and time, we can't offer up no offerings or tithes. So we give to the poor, we give unto the needy, we give unto places like this to keep it up so that we can deliver the message that the family needs, because this is what's needed. This is food and water, spiritual food and water. That's what these words are for us. To gain the spirit so we can survive, so we can overcome, so we can withstand, so we can endure, so we can hold on and not be weak and give up. Said, he shall cut off the spirit of the princes. He is terrible to the kings of the earth. Because why would he cut off the spirit of the princes? Because those are the big shots and the kings of the earth. So the Most High has no problem in taking out royalty if we don't act right. It says, Yah destroys the courage of rulers and kings and makes them cowards. He brings them down. So no one can truly stand with an argument before the Most High. So you see how Asaph in different psalms brings different angles on praising the Most High, but showing his power, showing his mind frame, showing who he's good to. And I'll read it again over in this English version that says, our Creator is famous in Judah and honored in Yisrael. Your home is Mount Zion, the city of peace. There you destroy fiery arrows, shields, swords, and all other weapons. You are more glorious than the eternal mountains. Brave warriors are robbed of what they have taken, and now they lie dead and unable to lift their arms. The Creator of Jacob, when you roar, enemies' chariots and horses drop dead in their tracks. Our Creator, you are fearsome, and no one can oppose you when you are angry. From heaven you announce your decisions as a judge, and all who live on this earth were terrified and silent. When you took over as judge, ready to rescue everyone who is humble. Even the most angry people will praise you when you are furious. Everyone makes your promises. Make your promises to Jehovah your Creator and do what you promise. Jehovah is fearsome, and all his servants shall bring him gifts. Yah destroys the courage of rulers and kings and makes cowards of them. Because no one can overpower. No one can stand up before the Most High. Hallelujah. So we have to understand that he saved those that are humble. So he makes a difference in those that are arrogant. And that's why it says that we give gifts to him, because we dedicate things to him to show that we are mindful of the Creator that gives us life. You know, when we fall in a lot of trouble, it's only to remind us, to let us know that we're walking out of line and that we need to rely on the Most High and his ways, and need to fall back into humility and follow orders by fearing the Most High and not breaking them presumptuously, so that we may live before the Most High honorably, and we receive a blessing because of that. So now let me go to the book of Ezra, and we'll start off in Ezra chapter 2. And from the beginning, we'll read line 1 and then skip to verse 41. It says, "Now these are the children of the provinces that went up out of the captivity of those which have been carried away captive, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away unto Babylon, and came again unto Jerusalem and Judah, every one unto his city." So this was after Nebuchadnezzar had carried away most of the people from Jerusalem, that in the time of the Persian king, Ezra was allowed, him and Nehemiah were allowed to go back with a lot of the priests and a lot of those of Judah, a lot of the righteous people, the people that were humbled through that captivity. And when you read this second chapter of Ezra, it's talking about the exiles, all those that returned back home, and it gives you the name of those that were individuals that were kind of right, and each family. So when you go to verse 41, before that it talked about the children of the Levites. Then it said on verse 41, the singers, the children of Asaph, 128. 128 of his descendants from his children went back into the land. So why am I going into this? Because the last few Psalms we've been talking about Asaph. He is the composer of those Psalms. So the reason why I'm going to these different places where it's mentioning him and his children, because Asaph was one worthy before the Creator to create songs. He praised the Most High with his heart. His spirit was like none other when he played. And he taught his children to praise the Most High in the same way. So we see that generations later, the children of Asaph are amongst righteous people returning back to the land. So Asaph didn't get his position for no reason. He was promoted as a chief singer by King Dawid. But Dawid also judged him as a righteous man because he was a chief singer in the temple of the Creator. So he had to hold it down to do what's right. You're not just chosen because you're gifted. You're chosen because you're right. And then the gift of what you have obtained in life is very useful with your righteousness. Righteousness cannot be downplayed. Righteousness cannot be overlooked over your gift and over your talent. With your talent, you praise the Most High. With your gift, you honor the Most High. Let us now go. We'll go to another chapter in Ezra, chapter 3. And we'll start off from verse 8, because they were already in the land. They started to build a house to rededicate a temple to the Most High, which Ezra and Nehemiah had the honor, and Zerubbabel and Joshua, the priest. So it says now, we're in 3rd chapter of Ezra, the book of Ezra, and we're starting at the 8th verse. Now, in the 2nd year of their coming unto the house of Elohim at Jerusalem. So this was already, there were 2 years since they came back into the land. So then in the 2nd month began Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel. We know that Zerubbabel was of the tribe of Judah. And Yeshua, which is Joshua, the son of Jehozadak, and the remnant of their brethren, the priests and the Levites. We know that Joshua was a priest. And all that were come out of the captivity unto Jerusalem, and appointed the Levites from 20 years old and upward to set forward the work of the house of Jehovah. So they put the Levites to work, those that were 20 years old and upward, to do the job, to do it right. Because the Levites are the one that maintained the temple of Yah. And Ezra was also of the line of the Levites. And he was there with them, guiding them, getting the word from Yah, instructions to put everything together. So everybody that came back, this was the rebuilding of the temple, their hearts were right. Verse 9, it says, Then stood up Joshua with his sons and his brethren, Kadmiel, and his sons, the sons of Judah, together to set forward the workmen in the house of Elohim, the sons of Henadad with their sons and their brethren, the Levites. So families were reuniting with the Creator, reuniting their hearts to get right, to rebuild what we once had. And it said, and when the builders were in Ezra chapter 3, verse 10, and when the builders laid the foundation of the temple of Jehovah, they set the priests in their apparel with trumpets, and the Levites, the sons of Asaph, with cymbals. So the sons of Asaph were right there, ready to play. Everybody was in their apparel because they just laid the foundation, which was the cement to hold up the building. And they were just glad, praising the Most High, just in that they were allowed to do that, to lay the foundation. So it said, the sons of Asaph with cymbals to praise Yahweh after the ordinance of David, king of Yisrael, because David was the one that set it in order. Remember, David's heart was right. The Most High said in one psalm, you are after the order of Melchizedek, the priest king. He was the king of Salem, but was the priest of the Most High Yah. So, David's spirit was right before the Creator, that he considered him like a priest, even though he was out of the tribe of Judah. I remember one time reading where David had the ephod like the priest, because the Most High allowed him to come forward. But the priest has their duties, their blessing, and their position forever. It's locked in forever. So they played according to how David set the order of the singers. And they sang together by course in praising and giving thanks unto Jehovah. You see, so we did sing in our services and praising the Most High in our feast times regularly. Said they sang together by course in praising and giving thanks unto Jehovah, because he is good, for his mercy endured forever, towards Yisrael. And all the people shouted with a great shout when they praised Jehovah, because of the foundation of the house of Jehovah was laid. So everybody was glad when they laid the foundation. They were very happy. So they shouted and they were playing the music. They were jamming. They were rejoicing. See, just in the foundation, nothing is put up yet. This shows you this generation of people here that got to return unto the land was privileged by the Most High, and they appreciated. They showed their appreciation by singing, and people were probably crying. Let's continue to read. It said, but many of the priests and Levites and chief of the fathers who were ancient men, meaning elders, it says, that had seen the first house. They saw the first temple. So when they saw this, it said, when the foundation of this house was laid before their eyes, they wept with a loud voice. They cried. It was an emotional moment because they got to come back to the land to see that how Yah puts everything back together again. See, so the Most High leaves these parts of history to show us that he can send us into captivity and bring us back home and rebuild. So we have to have that hope. We have to have that belief. We have to have that surety in our spirits, in our minds, and in our actions. And we have to appreciate what we have. Because when we appreciate what we have, just the little that we have, we show the appreciation and praise to the Most High. He will make it greater. So they wept with a loud voice. Many shouted for joy, so that the people could not discern the noise of the joy. Let me read this over verse 13. So that the people could not discern the noise of the shout of joy from the noise of the weeping. Because people were shouting and people were crying, but people were emotionally crying, but in their cry they were happy, so you couldn't tell that they were crying with those hallelujah, praise Yahweh, praise Yahweh, crying because you know what? The emotional moment. It was a great moment for the nation because it was a comeback. We're going to be like that when Father comes to deliver us and make a great comeback. We're going to be very emotional. Men, mighty, strong men are going to cry, break down and cry because, you know what? We're soft before the Most High, and that's the way we're supposed to be. That's why we're supposed to be humble. So the people could not discern the noise of the shout of joy from the noise of the weeping of the people, for the people shouted with a loud shout, and the noise was heard afar off. They heard it for miles and miles. Let's now go to the book of Nehemiah, which was Ezra's partner, the governor. We'll start off at chapter 7, verse 5. Hallelujah. The book of Nehemiah. And Nehemiah, this is where he made a list of those that returned back to the land. He was very organized. He said, and this is Nehemiah speaking at this moment, and my Creator put into my heart to gather together the nobles. That means he got all those that were royal in their minds, in their spirit, that they carry themselves right, and they judge, it says, and the rulers, and the people, that they might be reckoned by genealogy. He was trying to set everything back in order so they can know what family they was from and what tribe they was from. He was trying to set all that back in order. He said, and I found a register of the genealogy of them which came up at first, and found written therein. Verse 6, and it said, and these are the children of the province that went up out of the captivity. So these were the families that came up from the first captivity of those that had been carried away, whom Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, carried away. Just like what we read in Ezra, 2nd Ezra, the first line. So Nehemiah is in sync. You see, the history is parallel, right on sync. He said, whom Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, carried away and came again to Jerusalem and to Judah, everyone in his city. So let's now skip to verse 44 of this chapter because it names all the people, and I don't want to go down this naming all the people because it's too tedious. But I just want to go to the main focus of who we're talking about today. It says, the singers, the children of Asaph, 148. Now we remember we were reading it with Ezra, said 128, but now at this time, 148 because, his children were populating. But you see, the children of Asaph were there registered and accounted for. And that's what the Most High, He never forgets. He will reveal to all of us when we go back to the land what tribe we're from, what household we're from, so that we're in order. We're back in order. It's a reviving of the nation. That's why we got to get right. That's why we have to focus, and we got to continue to stay focused every Shabbat and every time we have services and every time we put on the shows that we put on the platform that the Most High gave us, the power of the prayer, the Haftorah show. This is to keep the spirit going throughout the week. Because you have Shabbat and then you're spiritually juiced. You're on a high. When you're praising the Most High and you're hearing words, fiery words coming and being spoken. And it gives us hope. And then a few days later, it's like our spirit starts dropping. So here we come again to bring some more fiery words, but to bring us different parts of history to show us that we can still make it, that the Most High hasn't forgotten us. The Most High is giving us leverage. The leverage is to know who you are and know what you have to do and hold on with hope even though times are bad. Hold on with hope even though times are bad. Because what does the book always says? It's not given to the strong nor to the swift, but to him that constantly endures. So we have to endure. That means we have to continue to weather the storm. Let's go to chapter 11 of Nehemiah. And we'll start off from verse 1. We'll read to verse 3. And the rulers of the people dwelt at Jerusalem. The rest of the people also cast lots to bring one of 10 to dwell in Jerusalem, the holy city. So they were casting lots by families so that it was only so many people can dwell in that city. So they were doing it by tens. Right? And it says, and 9 parts to dwell in other cities, and then the other 9 parts would live in other cities, just to keep the whole town populated and alive. They didn't want everybody to be crowded up together. And the people blessed all the men that willingly offered themselves to dwell at Jerusalem, and those that were willing to stay at Jerusalem to help build and to help guard and to help do the things. The people blessed them. And in blessing them, it's the Most High also blessing them. Because you see how the people were ready, willing, able to do the things that needed to do to rebuild the sacrifices that people had to make. So when they were casting lots, it was just so that they can evenly do this and do it fairly, like a lottery system. So that no one can feel cheated and say, oh, well, you picked this one because that's your friend or that's your cousin. No, we did it by lots so that no one can complain. You see the mind frame of the people in fairness. They were thinking in fairness so nobody can feel cheated. And then you had those that were willing to do whatever work stayed in Jerusalem. And the people blessed them and said, now these are the chief of the province. that dwelt in Jerusalem. That means these are the chiefs that dwelt in Jerusalem, leaders. But in the cities of Judah dwelt everyone in his possession and in their cities, to wit, Yisrael, the priests, the Levites, the Nethinims, and the children of Solomon's servants. So all those that had their registry, their genealogy intact, they let them dwell directly in Jerusalem, in their tribes, according to their tribes. Let's now skip to verse 17, Nehemiah 11. Verse 17 we're going to. Because, it goes and it breaks down all the different names of the sons that did work and so on and so forth. You can read that on your own. I'm trying to get to the meat of the subject, which are the children of Asaph. And Mattaniah, the son of Micah, the son of Zabdi, the son of Asaph, was the principal to begin the thanksgiving in prayer. So Mattaniah, which is of the family of Asaph, he was the one to singing and giving thanksgiving. The thanksgiving is that we sung. That's how we gave thanksgiving. And then we prayed as well. And Bakbukiah, the second amongst his brethren, and Abda, the son of Shammua, the son of Galal, the son of Jeduthun. Because remember, Jeduthun was also a chief along with Asaph. So his sons were not forgotten either. They were in there. They were holding it down. They were reviving the order. And I'm sure the sons of Heman were there as well. So it says, and all, we're in verse 18, sorry. Nehemiah 11, verse 18. It said, all the Levites in the holy city were 284. Moreover, the porters, because you had Levites that were porters that kept the place clean. Akub, Talmon, and their brethren that kept the gates were 172. And the residue of Israel, of the priests and the Levites, were in all the cities of Judah, everyone in his inheritance. Everybody in their inheritance, that was their official inheritance, got their portion. He said, but the Nethinims dwelt in Ophel. Ziha and Gispa were over the Nethinims. The overseers, also the Levites, at Jerusalem was Uzi, the son of Bani, the son of Hashabiah, the son of Mattaniah, the son of Micah, of the sons of Asaph, the singers, were over the business of the house of Yah. So you see, Asaph's sons did their singing, and then they put some of them to handle the business, because why? They were right. Ezra and Nehemiah can see these things. When our spirits are right, we can know when people are righteous. When we deal with them, we can see it, because that's a gift that the Creator has given us. And we got to utilize these things. Let us now go to Nehemiah chapter 12. And we'll start off from verse 3. Now, matter of fact, we'll start off from verse 1. It said, now these are the priests, the Levites, that went up with Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, Sariah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amariah, Maluk, Hattush, Shechaniah, Rehum, Merimot, Edo, Ginito, Abijah, Miamim, Maadiah, Bilgah, Shemaiah, Joarib, Jediah, Salu, Amuk, Hilkiah, Jedediah. These are the chief of the priests and of their brethren in the days of Joshua. So these guys were the chiefs in their positions of what they had to hold down. Moreover, the Levites, Joshua, Binnui, Kadmiel, Sherebiah, Judah, Mattaniah, which was over the thanksgiving, he and his brethren, and also Bakbukiah and Uni, their brethren, were over against them in the watches. These were the guys that were the watchmen of the Levites. And Joshua begot Jehoiakim. Jehoiakim also begot Eliashib. Eliashib begot Yodiah. And Yodiah begot Jonathan. And Jonathan begot Jaddua. In the days of Jehoiakim were the priests, the chief of the fathers of Seraiah, Meriah, Jeremiah, and Hananiah. Of Ezra, Shallum. Of Amariah, Johanan. Of Melichu, Jonathan, Shebaniah, Joseph, Haram, Adnah, Mariot, Hilkai, Edo, Zechariah, Ginniton, Meshulam, Abijah, Zikri, Mini Amin, Moadiah, Pital, Bilgah, Shemua, Shemaiah, Jehonathan, Jehoiarib, Mattani, Jediah, Uzi, of Sali, Kali, Amok, Eber, Hilkiah, Hashabiah, Jediah, Netaniel, the Levites in the days of Eliashib, Jodiah, and Johanan, Jaddua were recorded, the chiefs of the fathers, also the priests, to the reign of Darius the Persian. So all these Levites were under Darius the Persian in the time when they were in Persia. And when we came back, all these men were allowed to come back under Darius, because the Most High put the spirit on Darius to allow us to come back. So Ezra and Nehemiah were the main servants to Darius and were very wise that the Most High showed mercy and allowed all these men to come back. So all this is the families of the Levites that we're reading here. Okay? And then it says, the sons of Levi, the chief of the fathers, were written in the book of the Chronicles, even until the days of Johanan, the son of Eliashib. And the chief of the Levites, Hashabiah, Sherebiah, Joshua, the son of Kadmiel, with their brethren over against them, to praise and to give thanks according to the commandment of David, the man of Elohim, ward against ward, house against house. They were all in their order. So this is what they were doing. They were resetting the order over the families. We're in verse 25. Mattaniah, Bakbukiah, Obadiah, Meshulam, Talmon, Akub were porters, keeping the ward at the thresholds of the gate, the front of the doors. They were keeping everything clean. It says, and these were in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Joshua, the son of Jehozadak, in the days of Nehemiah, the governor, and of Ezra, the priest, the scribe. And at the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, they sought the Levites out of all their places to bring to Jerusalem, to keep the dedication with gladness, both with thanksgiving and with singing and with cymbals and psalteries and with harps. And the sons of the singers gathered themselves together. So all those of Heman, Jeduthun, and Asaph gathered themselves together, both out of the plain country round about Jerusalem and from the villages of sorry, it's hard to pronounce. Netophathi. Also from the house of Gilgal, out of the fields of Geba, Azmaavet, for the singers had built them villages round about. I mean, the singers had their little houses and their little towns. And the priests and the Levites purified themselves and purified the people and the gate and the wall. So they built the gate, they built the wall, they laid the foundation of the temple. A lot of things were happening very quickly now. It says, this is Ezra speaking. So, hold on. He said, then I brought up the princes of Judah upon the wall and appointed 2 great companies of them that gave thanks, whereof one went on the right hand upon the wall towards the dung gate, and after them went Hoshaiah and half of the princes of Judah, and Azariah, Ezra, Meshullam, Judah, and Benjamin, and Shemaiah, and Jeremiah, and certain of the priest's sons with trumpets, namely Zechariah, the son of Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, the son of Mattaniah, the son of Micaiah, the son of Zakur, the son of Asaph. You see, so Asaph's children were right there every step of the way in the return and to present themselves. And their brethren, Shemaiah, Azriel, Milalai, Gilali, Ma'ai, Netaniel, Judah, Hanani, with the musical instruments of David, the man of Elohim, and Ezra the scribe before them. So Ezra was with them while they had the instruments that belonged to David. They preserved those things. And at the fountain of the gate, which was over against them, they went up by stairs of the city of David, and at the going up of the wall above the house of David, even unto the water gate eastward. And the other company that of them that gave thanks went over against them, and I after them, and the half of the people upon the wall from beyond the tower of the furnaces, even unto the broad wall. So Nehemiah was with the whole group going up. And this is what he was recording. He was writing all this down as a memory. And from above the gate of Ephraim, and above the old gate, and above the fish gate, and the tower of Hananiel, the tower of Mia, even unto the sheep gate, they stood in the prison gate. So stood the 2 companies of them that gave thanks in the house of Elohim, and I and half of the rulers with me, and the priests Eliakim, Maaseiah, Miniamim, Micaiah, Elonai, Eloinai, Zechariah, Hananiah with trumpets, and Maaseiah, and Shemaiah, Eleazar, Uzi, Jehohanan, and Malchijah, Elam, Ezer, and the singers sang loud with Jezreiah, their overseer. So Jeriah was the overseer of those singers. It will make sure everybody was doing everything correctly and in their chorus. It said, also that day they offered great sacrifices and rejoiced for Elohim and made them rejoice, because the Most High allowed us to rejoice in this time. So we were very happy. And it says, for Elohim had made them rejoice with great joy. The wives also and the children rejoiced, so that the joy of Jerusalem was heard even afar off. Everybody was happy. Wives, children. See, the whole family is always involved in everything in the nation. That's why we have to involve our families. We got to get our families involved in reading, in the history, and in rejoicing in the feast days. We got to put it all together, brothers and sisters. We can't leave it out. We got to work everybody into being happy and appreciating and wanting to get back to be a holy people before the Creator. So when Nehemiah 12, we're at verse 44. And at that time were some appointed over the chambers for the treasures, for the offerings, for the first fruits, for the tithes, to gather into them out of the fields of the cities the portions of the law, for the priests and Levites. For Judah rejoiced, for the priests and for the Levites that waited, because the tribe of Judah was happy, those that were there, to see the order back in function. And both the singers and the porters kept the ward of their Creator and the ward of purification, according to the commandment of David and Solomon, his son. For in the days of David and Asaph of old, there were chief of the singers and songs, because Asaph was the chief of the singers. So was Heman, and so was Jeduthun. So they made sure everybody came at their courses, everybody came at the right time, everybody was in tune, everybody was tightly knit perfectly before the Most High when they sang. So they were chief of the singers and songs of praise and thanksgiving unto Elohim. And all Israel in the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemiah gave the portion of the singers and the porters every day his portion, because those guys didn't get paid. So people would bring offerings so that they would receive some type of compensation and would be more motivated or more willing. See, because when you have people do things for free, after a while people get tired. And the Most High knows that. That's why the Most High said it in that way. When we offer up willingly, the Most High blesses us so that we feel compensated. Because that's the way it's supposed to be. There has to be a compensation. So people give up willingly, so all these guys got their portion. Right? It's in all Israel in the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemiah gave the portions of the singers and the porters every day his portion, and they sanctified holy things unto the Levites, and the Levites sanctified them unto the children of Aaron, the high priest. So everything was back in order. Hallelujah. So you see that we just have to hold on. We won't be left out of our portion. If we do right, we'll never be left out. If we do wrong, there will be cut off. So if we want our portion back, we have to dedicate ourselves in every facet of this law. Spiritually, mentally, physically, verbally. Because how we talk, how we think, how we act, and what we got to show people in our family, because we have to be leaders. We have to be husbands to comfort our wives and to speak to them in the way of right, and then we have to get them to be in the way of right, to teach the babies and the children and the daughters to do the same thing so that our children be right. Because you can see by the way your children act, shows whether you teach them right or not. Sometimes you could teach your children, they can go away from what you're saying. That's the possibility. But the book said, train up a child in the way that he shall go, and when he gets old, he will not depart from it. That's not a lie. So you have to start early with children, getting them to pray, read to them. Friday nights when Shabbat starts, sit down with the whole family, have conversations of what went on during the week and show them how Yah works. It's very important to do that. That's like a weekly update on how Yah is working and what Yah does. Blessed be the name of the Most High. Let us rise up and face the east and give praise. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High, creator of heaven and earth. We thank you, Todah Rabbah, O great King, for this session, for giving us this platform to speak to the family, to those that come and connect, to hear your word, to hear your history, and so that you teach us how you deal with men and how you dealt with our fathers in times of old, and when we turned away from you, how you brought us back to the land to rededicate, to rebuild, to reestablish. So we ask you, O great King, please leave us not out of this. Please take our spirit and cause us to drive towards righteousness, to call upon you, to be before you as righteous people. Blessed be your holy name, Yah, for blessing the house of Yisrael wherever we may be. Please forsake us not in this day and time, O Yah. Please bless the spiritual leader of Shema Yisrael, Hanasi, chief principal, and guide him and help him and give him help. Bless his son, Nasi Natanel, with strength and help. Bless all of his sons. Bless all of their families. Bless all the congregations of Yisrael in the four corners of the earth, O great and mighty Yah. And lastly, I ask you, O great King, to please bless my spirit and my family so that we continue to stand before you and do what is right before your eyes. Todah for giving me wisdom, Todah for giving me strength, and Todah for helping me in the times of trouble. And may you continue to help us and get us out of trouble, oh Yah. May you bless the whole house of Yisrael and all the family that are online. Please hear their cry and their prayer and their requests granted unto them, O Yah, so that you may show them your might and your strength. Cause our families to believe back in you, to trust in you, so we can get out of this land faster, O great King. Please get us out of this place, for this place is corrupted and evil. We cannot stand to be here anymore, O great King. Those of us that are sincerely your servants, please get us out of here. Blessed be your high and holy name forever. Hallelujah. Praise be Yahweh. Shalom, family. I hope that this session gave us some food for thought, enlighten us to a higher degree. Let us be strong. Let us stay strong. Let us trust in the name of Yah. Pray to the name of Yah. Ask him for what you need. And it will be given, because this Creator does not forsake his people. I'm a witness to that, and we have plenty of brothers and sisters that can testify to that. And the scriptures always shows us that those that trust in Yah are always delivered. So, until we see each other again, brothers and sisters, this is Chief HezekiYAH from the Power of Prayer series at Shema Yisrael, bidding you in the tongue of our ancient forefathers, Shalom Aleichem, peace be unto all of you, and may you all be blessed. Have a good week, family. Till we see each other again. Shalom, shalom.